Hello and welcome. This is a video for Supply Teachers UK, and I suppose I should introduce myself. My name is Lucy Orchard. I'm a supply teacher and I'm the founder of Supply Teachers UK, and Supply Teachers UK is a campaign to improve our profession and education of students. How we came about, why we are a group, is that any problem isn't a problem until it's identified, and then once it's identified, solutions and ideas can evolve into it. So being a supply teacher for over 3 years now, very insular, very alone. You go to schools, you teach your day, you don't really talk to anyone, and you come home, and it's not like you've opted out of educational policy. It's just a case of you don't get the same influences and inputs that you would if you were sat in a staff room talking to other professionals. So I finally went on a forum and found that what I was feeling, what I was finding, was the same as every other supply teacher out there. So we decided to get off our butts basically and do something about it, because it was very clear that nobody else was going to. So we started the group, and the forum that we were discussing it on was a very open forum, and I just think that seeing as we don't have our own association, we don't have our own staff rooms, that we should have a closed forum. So we started a Facebook group, and it was amazing. We've got 139 members, I believe, and this is all within 6 months. So nationally we are represented, and we decided that not only should we just get together, we should get together and move forward and do something. So somebody suggested doing a march, and we put it into motion. So on April the 9th we went to Westminster, and we went and delivered this dossier that we created and took it to the relevant bodies that ultimately would govern us as teachers, who govern schools, who govern head teachers. This dossier had evidence of malpractice, witness statements, had the Devon NUT survey in it. It had letters that had been sent to MPs and ignored, letters from MPs that clearly had no idea of the rules, that had got answers back from head teachers who know the rules and fudged them. We also wrote to these government bodies, and I'll try not to use too many acronyms and explain what they are, but ultimately we started off by writing to the GTC, the General Teachers Council, who, if, touch wood, something happened, they would call me up, they would investigate it. They're the governing body, the regulation. You cannot be a teacher without being a member of the GTC. And their response to everything was, you're dealing with a situation that isn't really including teachers, and I suppose that's the point, but because our work is being replaced by non-qualified staff, non-teachers, then they're not really that bothered. But have we thought of writing to other people? So we wrote to Ofsted, because Ofsted goes into schools and checks how the school is running, and surely they would have something to say on this. Well, they said that they don't check the qualifications of the adult in the front of the room, and that it's not their remit. So we should write to the GTC, which we had done unsuccessfully. So we then wrote to the TDA, and they are the Training and Development Agency, who come up with sort of the PGC curriculum for trainee teachers and different things like that. They really are a main driving force in teaching, and they even have on their website an example of a teacher and his roots into teaching, and he said, that he had no experience and started being a cover supervisor, and quite quickly took on a long-term cover role, planning and marking and assessing, which almost sounds like an alarm bell going off my head, because there is just so many policies that he is failing to meet in, well, not him, the school that was overseeing, because ultimately he didn't know any better, and others quite frankly did. The main person that we wrote to was the DCSF, which is the Department of Schools, Children and Families. The then government was Labour, so it was under the, I'd like to say instruction, but I don't want to sound too biased. Basically, Ed Balls was in charge of it then, and he is no longer in charge of it now. And the DCSF has said that it's down to the head teacher. The head teacher can do whatever they want. The head teacher, who is in control of the budget, can decide to save money and use non-qualified staff, or they can, try and find that money and basically ensure that every child receives their right to a qualified teacher every lesson. You know, it was even mentioned, I think, by the TDA that we should write to our union. I mean, this is a massive issue where non-qualified staff are taking lessons. The DCSF said they can. The workload agreement says they can't. So if the people that are governing us aren't even reading their own policies, how on earth are we supposed to proceed? So anyway, we took this march to London, to Westminster, and you know, the DCSF were very gallant. They came out and they signed the receipt form, I suppose, and we managed to get our coverage on Channel 4, and I'm hoping to get the footage to put on here, but we managed to get it on Channel 4, and it was primetime news, and you know, it shows that it's not just us banging our heads against a brick wall. This is something that is very important. So we've got all this evidence, we took it away, we've now had a response. The DCSF want to have a meeting with Supply Teachers UK, and it will be happening in the next few months, and the reason why it's going to take so long is that our proposals involve so many different directives and policies that everybody needs to be involved, but even having a web link with other policymakers. But the campaign isn't just about the fact that supply teachers are being forced out of their profession due to cutting corners. The fact is, this campaign includes the fact that the government, the councils have closed most of their supply pools, which is the supply teacher goes to the council sends them to schools. It was all cheap, it was all happy, it was all wonderful, it was all self-regulated, but of course they thought, well, we could just not do that. We could let agencies be in charge of the supply teachers. They can get less money, not be respected as much, and just get shipped out like some sort of equity. So we need to increase the supply pools. You know, agency cover teachers do not get pensions. They do not get paid to scale. They do not climb the scale. We do not get continual professional development training, which is any professional's right. NQT supply teachers have got 5 years to complete their induction, which is either a year's full teaching or 4 terms of teaching if they can't get one full post at one school. Fortunately, when they extended the limits from 16 months to 5 years, they didn't change the figure on the how long people can do day-to-day supply. So once you do 1 day of supply, that's it. Your 16 months is counting, and you better cross your fingers that you live in a postcode where your local authority will give you an extension for 12 months if you've been ill or unfortunate or had a baby. God forbid you had a life. So qualified teachers that have got their degrees, they've got their PGCEs, they're just waiting to get their induction, are being forced out of education. Not because mental health, not because of bullying, not because of workload, not because of any other reason, but a piece of paper that says, sorry, your 16 months are up, off you go. So our NQT campaign is massively important. Today, hot off the press, made a logo, and I'll be talking at the NUT Young Teachers Conference about it this weekend, hopefully, if I get time. And ultimately, if you are an NQT teacher, please contact me. We need you. We are going to be running a campaign which is basically making little YouTube videos like this, just like 30 seconds or so, saying why we should extend it, because it's extended in Wales and it's extended in Scotland, and if they're not real countries, you know, fair enough, but they are actual countries with actual policies, and they've thought this through, and they made it 5 years, so what's wrong with that? So basically, get in touch with me if you're a supply teacher, if you support us, if you're an NQT. Facebook, Supply Teachers UK, for supply teachers. Facebook, Support for Supply Teachers, if you just want to support us. Our website that was donated by a parent, www.supplyteachersuk.org, or email me at supplyteachersuk@hotmail.com. Please support us. This is serious. It is fixable. If it wasn't fixable, I wouldn't be sticking my head on the line. So please join us. It's a good campaign, and it's basically we care about students, and we'd like everyone else to, please.